Alright, welcome back to SummoNerds. I'm Evan.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Joe.
Alright, well we've got a couple good matches for you today. Matt is playing Hogar.
Yes, and I am playing as Moyra.
Yeah, so we've got a nice little matchup here. The tough wall creating Hogar and Moyra, who
loves to shatter those.
Loves to shatter walls. Yeah, it's kind of
or just run up in general with her.
Yeah, it's true. One aggressive kind of versus a standardly defensive deck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of nice. See.
Yeah.
So you have seen me use Hogar before in my game against Evans, Mad Syrian. I like his deck. I like to try and make it work. I like to prove that it's a viable deck. He gets a lot of complaints.
Yeah, I know that in playtesting it had to be scaled back because it was too powerful apparently in playtesting, Hogar's deck, and I was surprised to hear that when we first started playing alliances. But I can definitely see some of the games I've played with Matt. He can be very good.
Yeah, I think Hogar has one of the best champion pools and actually commons out there. Defenders, Oathsworn I think are pretty nice. Although we rarely utilize the Oathsworn.
Yeah, that's the thing is I feel like Hogar is great just on the fact that he can have both Gror and Krung out on the field at the same time. We were talking about earlier. I mean, that's just an example. You can have two other great champions on the field at the same time as well from either team. Baldar, great, and for 4 cost. But I just I know that's fine and good. I typically like to try and use Hogar the way he was made, or the way I interpret that he's supposed to be used, with the Scribes and the Ice Golems as Ice Walls, so I don't like to take too much out of his deck. I do have some cool ideas in this deck build that I've used before, so we'll watch how those pan out.
Yep. I've had a deck with Hogar where I played with Baldar and just a bunch of Thorkers just to be obnoxious. And it worked. But now I'm just trying to position. I basically just threw that defender just in harm's way.
I hope you get a few hits with him before he goes down.
Right. I'm not a huge fan of defenders, although I do recognize now that, with Moyra's ability, you can definitely get the positioning right and get the defenders to be incredibly awesome.
So he's got Lightning Strike,
so
a
that's
Rusher,
important.
a Cherubim, Father Benjamin in the wall.
So I had Lightning Strike
in his first hand.
And I realized instantly that I should hold on to that card and save it for a really good time because I know the Ice Golems can potentially become walls.
Walls are walls.
Exactly.
So they'll be shattered instantly by a Lightning Strike.
Exactly.
Or just units in general. I mean, it's just an incredibly powerful card.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, you can just 2 free wounds on a champion. That's really nice as well. Lightning Strike has no weaknesses.
No, instantly kill a common that's in the way of your target. It's a bunch of good choices.
Yeah, and Father Benjamin also. Let's take a note. One of my favorite champions.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's fantastic, and obviously, what's his name? Samuel Farthen's deck. Sunderved also up there. I can't really see him in Sarah's deck, but I'm assuming he could actually be, especially if you couple it with intercession.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's picture the intercession and then Father Benjamin just healing those right off when he dies.
Okay, so you have Raldag. Oh yeah, I was wondering what you had at this point. Nullification
and Scribe. What did you put on the Ice Golem there? Was it a runa of...
I think it might have been...
I think it was a heroism.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I like to get an early heroism on my Ice Golem like that. Could be a double-edged sword. If it dies, that's one of my best runes. But it's nice to see the Ice Golem actually have the ability to attack something. I'm always of the opinion 2 die is way better than 1.
Yeah, it gives you more, and it's just aesthetically more pleasing to roll 2 die instead of just 1. Your hands feel so empty. We were having a conversation about shielding as an event, and it's obviously it can be situationally very nice, but I don't feel any remorse just throwing it out.
So I missed that defender for the 3 for 2, but I completely agree, Joe. The shieldings, I've decided are very easy to discard by comparison to the other runes. And Hogar's Hand is easy to clog, so I'm discovering that I will discard that one. I won't really discard anything else. Maybe the Shackling. It just depends. I like to put that on my ice golems for to make them
anything
walls.
to make them walls. I wish that the Chant of Nullification would work on common units, because I could just imagine, maybe if it's even just what you might call them, just commons, because I just love the idea of just putting that on like a Crusher or a what are the others?
Well, right. That's why I'm sure you can't. Because
that would be insane. But I think that if it was if you could remove a rune at any time in the during a turn, I think that would make it a bit more fair for your opponent.
That's
because I mean that's sort of the gimmick of the runes in general, is that if your opponent wants, they can just get rid of it. It just costs magic and it's annoying.
Yeah, I like tell us what you guys think. We're kind of the opinion that the shielding, I don't know if I agree with the one wound being able to shatter it. If something does a wound to it, then it's gone, because like a one die unit has a 50-50, and a 2 die unit can still get 2 hits, and one of them can be a 4 for 1 wound, like a 3 and a 4, and that still shatters it, even though it didn't do 2 wounds.
See, that's why I think it'd be a situational. Like a deck like Fricks could deal away with those no problem, but like against like the Demagogue with like the horror and the any of the 3 attack units that they have, they could just be very, very difficult to kill at that point. But you can just pay for it. The Demagogue can just generate the magic, throw it off. Yeah.
Well, the way I feel Hogar was meant was that he's supposed to make the opponent pay constantly to get rid of the runes, because they're good. And shielding, if it can't be shattered by a wound, is pretty strong, and that would just make them pay 2 magic to get rid of it. I think that just makes sense to me. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think.
I actually agree with that in the sense that if it's on a scribe and you manage to
nullification.
Nullification. Yeah. If it's on a scribe and you manage to hit the scribe, then it's dead. If it's on a marauder and you get 1 on a marauder, then it has 1 life left, and who cares? If the shielding stays on it or not, because you're still going to kill it really easily the next turn or later that turn. And the same with the ice golem. If you get 1 or 2, like if you get 2 on in particular, if you get 2 wounds, if you manage to hit 2 out of 2, then why would it lose its shielding? It's already almost dead. Like it shouldn't matter that much in those instances where it's on a common.
I'm sure there are some situations why. I'm sure there's probably very good reasons why it shatters.
I can picture it thematically, of course, like it broke through the shield to do the wounds. But balancing wise, I feel like shielding is. I just haven't found it very strong.
Yeah, I think of. I don't know how you would make it a bit more. I don't know what the word is. I'm hesitant to say that it's a bad event, because it certainly can be a great event. But, I don't know, maybe another like Rune of Heroism, honestly, might make it better.
Like Heroism and Power are the big ones, and when they're gone, there's only the Master Rune, so it's...
So you essentially get either of those twice.
Right. The Master Rune is awesome.
Shackling can be very good.
But again, I find myself putting it on my Ice Golems more often than enemy units.
Also, I realize we don't play. We tend to take out the Marauders a lot when we play as Hogar, and they definitely benefit from the runes just as much as the Ice Golems.
Marauders are so good. I don't like taking them out, but that's what I do, because I feel like I need ice. Because I like to do specifically. I like the idea of Vognar whacking out Ice Golems with the Scribes' help. Is how I always picture this functioning.
The problem is that the Ice Golems have 2 extra layers of synergy with Hogar's deck. If they're an ice wall, then they are the same as they gain the ability of Hogar, which is to make walls harder to kill, and then they also have another layer which is Vognar pulling them out. So they're just better to have than the Marauders in that sense, where they have these 2 other functions in the deck. beyond the Marauder, which is just a nice attacking common that dies quickly.
I wouldn't actually mind putting Vognar in like Grognak's deck if you threw in some ice golems. Yeah, if you threw in like a ton of ice golems, and you can just get a bunch of free 3 health commons out.
If you were able to do that, that'd be great.
And then you have reinforcements as well.
Yeah, I mean,
and you have doesn't that have a Hero's Born?
Yeah.
So that can leave some of the.
So you can get Vognar out fast enough to make him useful.
What are you talking about?
Hero's Born.
Yeah.
But he's just got so many other good champions, and it's like and good commons, and I don't see any particular reason to muddy his deck with other things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I agree. I mean, it would work. I'm sure. It's not like very necessary in Grognak's deck.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Vognar and Bolvi is great too because he can whack out those towers, which is actually a theme I have in this deck. I built some assault towers in here. I've had some luck with that in the past. Gives Vognar some extra things to whack out. Yeah. And lets the Scribes do extra.
Yeah, I like the towers. I think they're kind of cool, and especially with this deck, because this is the only Hogar's the only deck that has the starting position with a wall in the front line. All right, you see, I'm summoning a Cherub now. So.
Great unit as well. A lot of I love the Vargath Vanguard commons.
Yeah, we were just talking about how we love every single common.
Yeah, that whole deck I just find is
it's
great.
A blast to play. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that some of my favorite commons in the game are Vargath units.
Yeah,
and I like to build those into this deck. I did build a few of those in. I'm not sure. If you look at my Magic, you see I built one of I think it was a common. Well, yeah, it had to be in common.
I like to visualize Moyra turning into animals. like she keeps like a humanoid form, but turns into like get some beast features or something.
She's like the Hulk. Kill me. Wait, the Hulk never says that. Sorry, my Hulk fan fiction.
Yeah, let's make that clear next time, Joe.
Joe writes some pretty dark fan fiction, apparently. Existential fan fiction. Yeah.
So actually, I don't like my positioning right now because none of my units are within
range of
Moyra.
Moyra.
Range of Moyra. I think. Did I play No, I did not play Blinding Light.
And all of your commons are within range of being hit by a newly summoned.
Exactly.
Anything.
So it's not
It's not the worst position though, because Moyra is just tanky, and all of her commons are able to take hits because of divine intervention.
Although Matt's hand is definitely clogged, so I made a good. This was a very lucky on my part.
If I had a good plunger, but I don't, so my hand is clogged.
You were a little too happy about that.
But I like to do this. I always have this great scheme, but I've used it before, so it's not really a trick anymore. Is where you keep a wall in your hand, and if they get a champion deep in your territory to whack at Hogar, you plant a wall in front of it and avalanche it, and then it's easily defendable for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So the champion would be out.
So what did you build in Magic just now?
Good question.
It's probably because you had only events, a wall, and I think you kept avalanche your wall and
yeah, pretty sure I discarded
Raldag, so it was probably one of your runes.
I think it was a shielding.
Shielding. Oh yeah, Hailstorm is actually kind of a cool event.
Yeah, I like Hailstorm. Also mildly situational, but
I don't know what
really
I'm doing.
Nice. It's really nice at keeping those ice golems alive.
Trying to decide where he wants to position his stuff, if he wants to move Moyra up or if he's scared to.
At this point in the game, I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I realized if you're moving back like that, I don't think you have a terrible amount of magic. And I had that lightning strike in my hand. I was ready to use that if you happen to plop down an ice golem and put a ruin under him. So I was feeling pretty confident. So I decided to go mildly aggressive at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not liking my position, so any aggressive play I'm not excited about.
And I think I might have killed one of my Cherubim. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just trying to decide if he should keep that summon spot open or not, or what's going to happen here. But I think keeping Moyra safe was I mean,
I was just afraid of a surprise spider plopping down and then running to the back of my road. It's been known to happen, just not against Hogar.
well, Spider is my favorite champion, so you're right to worry about that.
So I decided to kill one of my cherubs.
This is one of Joe. This is a staple of Joe. Likes to kill his own men.
Yeah, I like how I killed the baby.
Yeah.
I killed the baby
angel.
It's like, you're pretty, but you'd be prettier in my magic pile. Yeah, I mean, we all know denying magic is just a staple of playing this game. I think I was thinking. That was a weird sentence. At this point, I was getting ready to take Moyra up and start whacking on a wall.
And you wanted to get some lightning strike.
I'm more excited about Joe's hand than my hand. Look at that.
Yeah, Cherubim. He had a Cherubim in his hand, so if he needed another Cherubim, it was all he had to do was put it down, and then having the extra magic was worth it. Gives him the option to play into things later, like possibly Father Benjamin. I'm not exactly sure how much magic you have. 5. Yeah, 5.
So, just enough for Father Benjamin. What coincidence?
So, good call.
But you do have to pay magic to use Father Benjamin's ability, and at this point, there was really no reason to summon him, other than to put more commons in my magic pile, or in my discard, so I could use change form.
Or to have a 3 attack range champion, which is a worthy reason to bring out Father Benjamin.
Right. So we see an assault tower.
I have an assault tower, ladies and germs.
He's feeling.
I actually did pack. I think I packed a single architect in here.
Actually, I love architects because you can heal your ice columns if you really want to.
It's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, I would definitely put the architects. And actually, I would put Brag in this deck just because I love Brag. The extra protection. It's just kind of like an upgrade from Hogar.
And also, Brag makes that shielding more worthwhile, honestly. So,
I can't remember exactly what
another one. Tordok could be useful in the same way as Brag.
Oh that's
you just
true.
have to put him adjacent to them.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Tordok.
Yeah, he's nice for everything. He'd be nice for those assault towers, and he'd be nice for kind of thing you want him for.
Yep.
I just love all those decks that have just common support. You know? Those are usually my favorite kind of cards. I tend to play, especially with Moyra and Sundervid, I usually play very common heavy. I don't rely on the champions too much like I do with other summoners, like I don't know, like Red.
Yeah.
Usually.
I agree. I'm definitely more common heavy when I play Vanguard.
Yeah.
That just makes sense to me. Or Vargath.
Same here. The nice thing, obviously, with Moira's deck is those divine interventions protect the champions as well. So it's easy to be aggressive with both commons and champions. It's great.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I played with the Samuel Farthen against you, I completely forgot that card cost magic to protect a unit from dying, which is why
divine protection.
Yeah, the divine protection requires magic to use, and I was like, oh, okay, crap, I forgot that was.
That's why when I first had Sam, I know Sam is regarded as extremely powerful. And I agree. I think he was my favorite summoner for a long time. But when I first got the deck, it took me a while to get to a competitive level with him because his magic curve, at least in his base deck, is so weird. Everything costs so much, including his events. Those 2 divine protections.
Yeah.
Everything costs magic in his deck, so it took me a long time to figure out how to destroy enough enemy units.
Okay.
There you go, blinding light. To make up for what you need to pay for stuff.
So what I don't like is where this is going.
It's going into this nice aggressive play.
Yeah.
I don't remember why I moved like that, but I think if you could run away, I could still run the Crusader up.
Yeah, this is not what I was quite hoping. Because I was hoping to lure out this attack exactly. I wasn't hoping to take all 3, and I wasn't hoping for the Crusader to move where he was. I wanted to freeze the Cherubim if it came close because my hand was bad. Obviously, I wanted the Avalanche to be used on a champion later, but I realized that wasn't in the cards. So I wanted to lure out this attack and be able to freeze the Cherubim. But now with this this blinding light formation I wasn't predicting, it makes it hard. I still have my wall and the avalanche, so I can still do that stuff.
Yeah, and I was thinking, well, I have lightning strike, so if the avalanche were to come down, or if any common,
and that's a big thing. I wasn't even considering. Like, I know Moyra has that in your deck. It's just one of those things we talk about sometimes. Like, yeah, of course they have that strong card, but you're just not thinking about it
not
sometimes
in the forefront
in
of
the
your
moment.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt's in a little bit of a defensive position here. What champions do you have in this deck?
I have Raldag, I think Vognar, and Gror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
So Gror would be nice against Matt or against Joe right now. But,
right, just because I have all these tight formations.
Yeah, exactly. Against Moyra in particular, I mean, Gror's nice for all that.
It's actually a pretty good counter.
Yeah, anything with any sort of area of effect stuff.
Yeah. So Matt's taking some time to think about. Yeah, I can't remember. I think you play Avalanche this turn.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I was smirking to myself because I think I have a hefty bit of magic. I think I was ready to.
Yeah, I think you might have 6.
I think I might. Yeah, I think I definitely had enough to afford Father Benjamin.
Yeah.
And I thinking it's like, okay, I mean, I don't need him right now, but
I said 6. You actually might have significantly more than 6.
I think it was something like that, though. I mean, I haven't drawn any of my protections for, what is it called, Divine Protection?
Divine Intervention.
Divine Intervention. Yeah, I don't think I had any of those.
That's the thing. None of those have been used, so I'm scared to even attack stuff. That's the thing that scares me about both Moyra and Sam is attacking their things, like moving into position to attack because it just won't work, and then you're in a tough spot because your attack just didn't go through.
And not to mention that their units are just like
Yeah.
very tanky in general.
Or in the ones that aren't can move really far and have nice attack value.
So yeah, here goes this nice. This wall went down.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's trying to figure out how to contain the attack that's coming towards him in a reasonable manner.
Mm-hmm.
He's showing his hand again here.
There's my one architect.
Raldag. And nullification, was that still nullification?
Yeah, I have a null daddy.
On Rhino.
Yeah.
Yep, but
So I'm trying to decide how exactly this is all going to come together.
I remember thinking Samuel Farthen's Abolish was just like so unfair when it first.
It's my favorite event in the whole game.
I know.
Abolish, oh my gosh.
It's just so annoying.
Great event.
Yeah.
His
You guys are making me want to play him again.
Yeah. Sam is fun. I think Moyra is the most fun I have of the all those teams.
alliances?
Vargath, Vanguards, and the Vargath Vanguard.
Yeah.
I personally, I think I'm partial to Singervet just because I love the idea of like, oh well, you have superior planning. Whatever event or whatever situation you need that requires your commons, or you need to get the attack bonus, but you don't want to be too close with your summoner, you can do that anytime. And although I found it really weird that Torden's Advance is like a card. It's so specific.
Specific to a champion. No other event is like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have some specific to units, but not specific to a champion. One card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Similar to the Sarah's like Holy Judgment or something, but again, there's only one Torden.
So here's Joe being scary
with my Crusader.
So I didn't throw the avalanche down. I guess.
No,
I guess I'm saving that to
Waiting a little bit. Yeah. Putting that that scribe in front of you is a little sacrifice to Joe.
Yeah.
Just trying to buy yourself another turn here to get ready.
Generating up magic.
See, that's the. I would really just love. I've done it before. I would love to do it every time, but it's just where you can actually use the scribes to do great things with Hogar, where you just manipulate the deck in such a way that you're like, oh, that's amazing. I'll play this. And,
Yep.
But it's just it's hard. It's
when you're under pressure like this, it's definitely pretty.
It's a tough place to be. Yeah.
What was I trying to do? I think I stick with that move.
Yeah, I think you do too. I mean, it's a good move. It's probably the
Yeah.
move to make.
Just wanted to intimidate you and beat you back into that corner if I can.
You know, some of my games I've played Strong Hogar is when honestly I don't run those ice golems up. I actually just keep them on my side of the field.
Yeah, force a defensive game. Yeah, there we go. You're playing Father B.
So I played him not because I needed him, because I wanted to.
Yeah, that was cool. Joe didn't have a cherubim in his discard.
Yeah.
So I spent money to.
But he does now.
Yeah.
I didn't use change forms yet, but I figured that the opportunity might arise. And I also had a rusher, which is why I'm on my side of the field at this point. Even though the Cherubim actually would have been just as good, if not better. And I could have moved up with Moyra.
Yeah, actually, if I recall correctly, Joe still does not have a cherubim.
No, he doesn't. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't have it yet.
No, but he did. He got other units, so he can use change form now. And the rusher very well might be why you were playing it that way, because you stayed on your side of the field and everything to get Moyra in an unexpected rush.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think you do have a cherubim yet, and it's kind of important that you don't. Either way, Matt's in a harrowing position here.
Yeah, this isn't good.
Yeah, I can't exactly remember what my...
Joe discarded most of his hand. There's the cherubim, I'm pretty sure, in that pile of nonsense.
I can't remember exactly what I built into this. I can't remember my champions. I remember one of them, but I can't remember what the last champion was. I don't think I ever drew him. Alright, so Matt is... I kind of have Matt cornered. Can't really run anywhere, so...
Hogar is weak and doesn't have many tricks up his sleeve. Moyra is fresh and can run around the map. Dangerous.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Rune of something.
Oh, but I do have big Raldag.
Rune of Power and a Marauder.
Oh, you do have a Marauder in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you didn't get rid of all of them.
No, I like to keep some because I think their ability is good and actually provides some range. A Marauder with heroism and power, obviously a deadly thing.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I get just 2 or 3 powered die out of nowhere is terrifying.
Yeah.
As I discovered, but we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm. I always envision this dream combo of Raldag powering these crushers with Rune of Power.
Yeah, I know, that's an amazing idea. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I like the crushers. They're just fun.
I love crushers. I just they work when they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why Raldag is in theory.
Yeah, that's why I don't build my deck around them. I just enjoy having 1 or 2 in there for a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know, you could just. In worst case scenario, you lose a magic.
I remember an old game with Joe where it all came down to one of my crushers.
I think he only had 1 health.
Yep, it had 1 health. One of my Joe went on this good rolling spree where he slaughtered oh gosh, what's his name? Rukar, and hit one of my crushers for 1, and he was playing Tundle at the time, and my crusher was still in range at the end though with 1 hit on it of his Tundle, and I went for it knowing it was my only chance at surviving the game. Then I just got all 4 on a Tundle, and I only needed 1 on his Tundle. So it was a very satisfying. They do.
For you.
They come through. They come through sometimes.
They do.
So here he goes. The avalanche is down. Raldag is down.
And I'm
he's double
giggling
checking
to myself.
He's double checking that it is in fact an ice wall with 3 wounds or 3 life to be able to hit it.
I actually love that event. I think Avalanche is just nice.
It's one of the coolest events, I think, of Alliances. It's just a really fascinating event, and
I just happen to have the best counter to it at this moment.
That's true.
So I'm just silently giggling to
Only
myself.
Besiege the Walls would be as good.
Well, since we don't own 2 copies of everything, we don't.
This destabilization also.
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like to do faction v faction because that's a big pain.
Ugly. That's ugly sauce.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same faction versus same faction, I should specify.
Okay, so here I am thinking I'm safely taking wax at that Crusader.
Yep. Yeah, thinking that he has at least 1 turn where that Cherubim can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
even if Moyra were to go 3 for 3 on it, which is highly unlikely considering it's a
50
ice wall with and all of the die are 50-50 die because of Hogar.
So pretty sure Raldag got 2 wounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking at this point, okay. Well, I'm a little annoyed because now I can't use Moira's ability to give my Cherubim a little boost.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, well, my Crusader is still alive. I can just go around Raldag and take a nice wackadoodle. Yeah.
Father Benjamin out.
He's just watching.
Did I mention he's one of my favorite champions?
He's a cool champion.
Yeah, I really wish I built him into my deck with Sam. I thought the idea, or I thought that you would assume I would have Sam in that, or I'd have Father Benjamin in Sam's deck. So I was going to play off of that, but instead I had Kayla, who I think is also a fantastic champion. Unfortunately, Kayla was way too expensive that game.
Yeah, she's
so
good.
I'm
here we
here
go.
proudly showing off my
lightning strike.
I immediately know what that means.
This is the turning point of the game. I mean, not that the game wasn't already in Joe's favor, but like Matt definitely had a choke point that he could maintain. He could have survived this game and come back, but at this point, Joe has kept his momentum, and there is very little chance that Matt is going to somehow swing this back the other way.
It's not over yet, folks.
It's not. It's very true.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy right now. I think I have a. I think
Pretty sure you played Blinding Light.
Yeah, I did play Blinding Light because
to protect that one Crusader.
Well, I'm afraid of how much magic do you have?
And Moyra, of course.
Maybe you'd get like a Rune of Power, Marauder.
Yeah. You do something crazy and get a whole bunch
Raldag.
of die.
And all in play for the game, yeah.
That would be insanity. So now you're down.
Yeah, I mean, it is true because like I would have 3 points of attack on Moyra.
Yep.
So.
And 2 of them with 2 dice at least, and maybe 1 with power. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It wouldn't be pretty, but.
So.
It's not likely he'd win
Oh,
either way.
yes,
Yeah. He's reminding us that
I'm reminding, so you guys don't worry about me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be fine.
See if I show my hand this turn.
Yeah. Sometimes when we get in the zone, it's we're thinking about the hand more than we're thinking about showing it. Every now and again, you know.
Yeah, because I'm like, should I just go for it?
Yeah. Even with Blinding Light, there is a chance you could get all 5s and 6s.
Which would be ideal with power.
Yeah, I know, exactly. You get 2 6s with power, and then all your other people just also hit 5s and 6s and you win.
Gror with power is can be really... Or actually, I think Gror with heroism and power is just...
yeah, I mean, devastating.
You could kill, like, everything.
Yep. So Matt's thinking through his options here. He's got he probably can't kill Moyra. That's not really a feasible option. So how do you get Hogar safe? How do you make sure you kill the Cherubim and the Crusader and block Moyra for the next turn?
Which is a tall order.
I know the answer is you just don't do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is.
But it would be great if I could.
That is if Moyra doesn't have a Cherubim, then in her discard, then it's incredibly possible to block her, like you just did with that Scribe.
Yep.
Scribe is actually, I think, just an extra die on the Crusader. I think you're going to move it down 2 spaces. But even still, it's just an extra 2 die on that Crusader, or 1 die on that Crusader. So you're blocking that lower access point for Moyra for, like, I guess 2 turns from now, when Moyra could swing through there. So you're walling off Hogar pretty nicely.
Well, yeah, this is pretty much the best you can do. So now you nullified.
I nullified the Cherubim in case the Crusader in case I don't kill the Cherubim.
Yep.
Which is probably wise.
Yeah, it was a smart move.
Yeah. Though I do have a lot of magic, and you could potentially help me out with that. Because I could, spend magic and get rid of the and perhaps get some other common from my magic.
Into the discard, yeah.
Which I think is an interesting mechanic. For
I was really excited about this matchup at the start because I was like, oh, Father Benjamin, I'll put nullification on him at the last second and kill him, and all this. I was just picturing all this stuff that, of course,
didn't happen.
It didn't happen because it could easily not happen, but nullification's amazing at stuff like that.
Yeah, it's true. It can turn tides.
Yeah.
But right here, we're Scribes going for the Crusader. Got him, even with the blinding light.
Yeah.
In the shackle.
And the nullification goes to his discard. Yeah, we're trying to figure out where's it go. Discard. There we go.
I did also grab a card, the Scribe. I put out the Scribe, and then when I nullified his common, I picked up a card from my deck when I nullified.
That was another reason to play the nullification.
Yeah. So I did kill the Cherubim.
Yep, there we go. And now Raldag on Moyra to see if we get a wound.
Come on, Raldag, 2 5s.
I'll be like, no, Benjamin.
It's true, Joe can always just run away and have Benjamin come in, save the day.
But at this point, I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, no wounds.
Didn't get anything. Got that nice hit and didn't get the wound.
So I'm like, let's discard a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So this is pretty good. That's probably the best move you could have done.
Joe now has 6 magic.
Yeah.
This is sort of important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But no Cherubim in his discard.
So I ended up.
Oh, there's Coleen.
Yeah.
She costs 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now all of those things.
I have the Cherubim in my discard.
Yep, and plays the change form here pretty much immediately.
Because there's no reason not to.
I
changed my idea.
Yeah, decides to summon her there.
She decides to fly and move.
Yep, change form.
Well, and there's the big one. Change form.
Cherubim.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is where,
So I like to picture Moyra like
Moira's
growing
forward
some
position.
angelic wings.
Moira's forward position pays off. Matt did not have the ability to wall off from Moyra if she had that maneuver. And he just brings everything else in just in case this goes one more turn. You go ahead, Summoner v Summoner.
There really is not much to do, even if that did miss.
Yeah, that was a lopsided game from square one. But Matt did have a chance to halt Joe's momentum, and if he had managed to do it, he might have been able to turn it around.
Yeah, I think again, if I had just gotten those ice golems out when I did, or when I should have moved them back and not forward.
Not forward, yeah.
I've done that before and had success. But again, here we are playing another game.
I changed the jungle shadows. I was still feeling the high from winning that last game. So you'll see, this game will go wrong very quickly. I don't think this is.
Oftentimes we'd say that we change our decks. Between games like this, especially when somebody loses, they like to play the same deck. Matt playing Hogar, again, because you want to get that, you want to get a win for that deck. You feel bad.
Right.
That's why in our first 2 videos, it was me against Matt and then Joe against Matt, and he was ret. Matt was ret for both games because he lost the first one, and so he wanted to give Ret a win. Same scenario here. Wants to give Hogar that win. We always have a joke that we pull our deck back behind, where we're building our deck, and we make some shuffling noises and then turn around and say, all right, I changed a few things, but it's pretty much the same deck. And it's entirely the same deck. And it's entirely the same deck. We don't actually change anything. In this case, Matt actually did change it slightly, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I made a minor modification.
That had major modifications.
But normally we don't like to change it too much in that scenario because the whole point was to give that deck a win. But
it's not only that; it's just that I didn't feel I demonstrated my built deck in any way because I didn't use the assault towers or that one architect.
It's nice when that architect comes up in your first hand, isn't it? That's what you're looking for. You got that nice early architect in your hand.
I want that nice early architect clogging my hand when I can't use it.
All right, so you put a rune on your little fella.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
That's unfortunate.
Pretty sure that's a shielding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny bit hard to read.
But it's a shielding. I'm like, shielding. but I do have a wall there, so something's got to be done about it.
That's true.
So yeah, I was pretty happy, sorry, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, I built a bunch of shadows and archers in this deck. I like both shadows and archers. Shadows are just the ability is just so straightforward and great. In my opinion, I think they're really cool.
I'm a big fan of shadows also.
Shadows are always the first unit I take out of that deck, and then I always regret it as I'm playing them. I think it wouldn't be cool to have shadows in this moment, but I don't have them.
So I have usually one shaman.
Got some cool cards in there.
I think that's Consume in Darkness.
I always like your hands better than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
You need that nice tracking right now to get forward, but to get that Consume in Darkness going.
Yeah, but
that's always the nice
Again,
combo. I mean, you can't right now, no, but that's the nice combo is that track, Consume in Darkness.
Melundak, Another really fun to use aggressive summoner that can just really get up there and smack things around.
Very different than Moyra, who likes to invite taking hits on herself and all her units.
Yeah, Melundak doesn't encourage that kind of behavior.
But I was feeling pretty greedy in this game. I do the same thing with Abua, where I play really aggressively, even though both Melundak and Abua only have 5 life, but it's such a high attack and range. So
yeah,
I typically don't mind letting them take a hit.
So we lose that shielding right away.
Yeah, there goes my shielding.
And then the shadows goes back to Joe's hand.
And now Melundak gets a real whack.
Yeah, I thought this was a cool play. This is why the shadows are.
The shadows are fun.
Any time during the turn, it's amazing actually.
Yeah, well, it's especially great for taking out a shielding and then trying to kill an ice golem. So here Joe kills the ice golem, very dead.
Hey, there's another magic for that shadow.
Exactly. So you can just keep bringing that shadow back and using Melundak to, take a
bigger whack. Yeah.
Or if you really need him, you can just throw a shadow there and have him as a wall. And if it gets destroyed, just play another shadow on top of it.
And Joe's kind of hoping here that the Tundra Guild only has so many ranged units that are likely to be built into the deck. I actually like the idea of adding some shooters to Hogar's deck, given all the ice walls, the mobile ice walls you can get.
I forgot about shooters.
Shooters are a very reasonable, cheap, ranged common. That there's nothing wrong with them. They're not particularly special, and they're not, but for a nice surprise 2 dice somewhere in enemy territory, that could be kind of fun. But we haven't really. There's not a great precedent for that in the past. We haven't really done shooters in Hogar's deck before, so it's hard to take out his commons, like we said. So
I've actually put some shooters in his deck before. I haven't won with that. But I like the idea.
Well, we're just. Joe's not particularly worried about leaving Melundak out because it's likely a melee unit, and he's got that Consume in Darkness, which he's itching to use. So he's almost even hoping that Matt charges him with some melee common that he can just kill.
A little piece of me actually hates that's a card because it just makes me feel so. I just itch to use it. I mean, if you kill something, you gain a life.
Yeah, Consume in Darkness.
You can play with it to be very aggressive, and I always try to do it, and I always end up paying the price for it.
No, I love the idea of Consume in Darkness on a summoner. Well, I love events that can hurt the summoner. It's one of my favorite things about the Alliances deck was that there were events that can hurt the summoner.
Absolutely.
Like
we were talking about originally I thought there weren't any before Alliances, but Lava Flow from the Phoenix Elves actually does hurt the summoner.
There's Satara in there and Out of Shadows. Shadows there.
Yes, I love. I always build Satara and Gargos into Nakuya's deck, just because with
Serpent.
With Serpent with Cheetah.
Yeah, gosh.
Cheetah makes Satara insane. And Gargos, you can
get really
and if you
fly
pay for
back over people's units and things. Yeah, I know. It's kind of nuts.
Nakuya is just a monster.
Yeah. Nakuya is. I almost feel guilty playing as him. I probably shouldn't. No. Yeah.
No, there are just summoners that have obvious weaknesses, and usually like Immortal Elian makes up for his lack of health with great events and really strong supporting units and just kind of a play style where he sticks in the back a little more. Versus Moyra, who has lots of HP, but you got to keep closer to the action because most of her events are have some proximity issue to her. Like change form, it actually changes her, and blinding light, you have to be close to her, and lightning strike has to be close to her. So you have to keep those higher HP summoners close to the action, which is what really balances everything out. But certainly is more intimidating going up against the high HP summoners, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like I can take out the weak ones, but even if they have lots of attack dice to hit me back with, like Melundak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel more confident against the lower health summoners.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Summoners like the Warden always scare me.
Yeah,
even though the Warden's it doesn't have much attack to speak of. There's Thorkur.
Oh, there's the surprise.
That changed out Gror for Thorkur.
Yeah.
No, not Gror.
Not Gror. It was
Vognar.
Vognar
For Thorkur. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Changed out Vognar for Thorkur. So.
Which I think Vagnar's Thorkur is a completely fine. Champion. He just doesn't fit the theme of anything in Olden's deck at all. Like his deck is all about
or Grognak.
Or Grognak.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Thorkur doesn't really fit the theme in anyone's deck.
I thought you were talking about Vognar.
No, I was talking about Thorkur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thorkur doesn't really fit any particular theme. He's just a really fantastic champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Thorkur can't go in Grognak.
But I always So at this point in the game, I did not think that either Baldar or Thorkur were in Matt's deck, because I know Matt tends to focus on putting things that are
synergistic.
Yeah, Yeah, he always likes the ideas behind decks.
Some kind of underlying theme, not just powerful champions.
Yeah. So I threw that out the window this game because I wanted to win.
Well, you wanted to give that a try, have something surprising that you could whip out with some punch.
No, I mean, I still have the assault tower idea going on in the deck. I just haven't drawn any assault towers to use.
Yeah, so Joe got a nice 3 on the wall. He's sitting there again, kind of not expecting anything big coming down the pipe right at Melundak.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. You might kind of have some idea of where this is going. Matt's got enough magic for Thorkur this turn.
6 magic. Yeah.
And
I have a 6 magic, a rune of power, and a rune of heroism. And Thorkur,
which equals a very sad Melundak.
Which when we do the math on, once you use Rune of Power, the number of dice you throw is the number of wounds you are supposed to receive. Kind of the odds. That's like the statistical average.
Right. That's what we're pretty sure how the power works.
That if you have a Rune of Power and you have 3 attack, that you're supposed to land approximately 3 wounds. Like that's the most normal wound roll you can get.
Yeah. The odds favor you to hit
1 wound per die.
1 wound per die.
Yeah.
However, Matt, so for that reason, Matt didn't want to throw heroism down. He only throws power on Thorkur here, because he didn't want Thorkur to die next turn to some kind of Out of Shadows play.
Yeah.
Or a tracking and then consume in darkness and then Out of Shadows and things like that would just be a mess. So instead, he decides to just throw down power. So if Thorkur dies next turn, he
then
doesn't lose everything.
Then I have a Melundak who can't do anything really for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he's crippled Melundak.
And I'll still have the heroism power combo for later.
Yeah. So Joe's wetting himself a little, but it's there are worse things than this.
Not really.
Yeah, well, unless there aren't. That's the only. Yeah. There are worse things than this, but because you have 5 life, and he's definitely only supposed to do 3 or maybe 4, but up to 6. But unlikely 6.
6 is the potential.
Yeah. Matt's a little worried about this. He's thinking about reconsidering his whole life.
I'm thinking about throwing the heroism down too and just saying,
Yeah, this is everything. But I think you wisely stick with the just power.
Yeah, I actually roll a whole bunch. I roll for practice, so there is 2, 4, 5. So that was game.
So yeah, I was punished for my arrogance.
Yeah.
I thought I could just sit back and whack on his wall.
Well, and
definitely an error, because I could have even had Ugg and done that for 5 and just had the odds to win. But
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Till next time,
Adios.
SummoNerds out.